rev up your engines. Today I'm going to talk about the most stolen car in America today and how you can prevent your car from becoming stolen. What is the most commonly stolen car in America today? Well, it's the Honda Civic, and over 45,000 of them stolen. Now, I've listened to the pundits and a lot of them say, hey, cars are harder to steal now. But people are becoming dumber and they're leaving their keys in the car, or if they're really stupid, they leave a spare immobilizer in the car. Then all somebody has to do is get into the car and push the button, it'll start, because the car knows that the immobilizer is already inside the car or under the tire, and it'll start up. But me, I don't totally go for that explanation, and here's why. Because I got out my phone and I Googled what is the most wrecked car in the United States that gets in the most accidents. And what did it show? It showed the Honda Civic. Aha, something's going on here. So the car that's most stolen is also the car that's involved in the most wrecks. Maybe people think there aren't that many chop shops out there that steal cars and break them into pieces and then sell them. There obviously are, because it's got to be more than a coincidence that the Honda Civics are the most stolen cars, and they're also the one in the most wrecks. Somebody gets in a wreck, they need parts. And if you've priced car parts lately, some even headlight assemblies can be $800 or $900. Parts are expensive, so if somebody steals the car, then they're making 100% profit, other than what they pay the thief to steal the car and give it to them. Hey, I got friends in Jersey. They say there's a ton of chop shops in Jersey where they're getting cars and taking them apart and then selling to pieces. The Civics are the most stolen cars, the ones with the most wrecks. So people obviously are stealing them to sell the parts to the people that wrecked them, because it was kind of contrary to what I originally thought. I thought the most commonly stolen ones would be ones that were really expensive because they're worth a lot of money, but no, it's the Honda Civic, which isn't a particularly expensive car, but they make a lot of money because a lot of them get wrecked and they can sell the parts to fix them. Now, to understand car theft, let's talk a little about the history of how people tried to keep cars from being stolen, starting with a simple key. Now, when I was a young mechanic, cars just had simple keys, and a lot of them, they didn't have a locking steering column, they didn't have a shifter that was interlocked, stuck in park and you couldn't get out. They just had a simple key. It was really easy to hotwire those cars. There's just 3 wires. You'd splice 2 of them together for the power, then the third one you just touch to make the starter engage and you could drive away. But eventually they realized that wasn't enough, so they had an interlock system where the steering column locks itself, so you can't turn it all the way around. It just locks in position, and the automatic shifter would be locked too, so you couldn't put it into gear. But for any thief, those weren't that hard systems to break. Steering column lock assembly, a lot of times guys could just jam a screwdriver in and break it. Screw machine where you screw it into where the lock is and you could just pop it out with a slide hammer. They were pretty easy systems to bypass. But then came kind of a game changer. This is the Toyota key for this 2007 Matrix. Now it's called an Immobilizer key. And here's how it works. It looks the same as that old 94 Celica. It has a lock on the steering column that keeps the steering wheel from turning all the way around. And it has an interlock so you can't get it into gear. But this Immobilizer system has one critical difference to it. This key has an Immobilizer chip in it. If you have a key that doesn't have that chip, when you turn the key to start the car won't start. The computer system won't let the fuel injection and ignition system run the engine. So it's not something that somebody can easily bypass. These Immobilizer keys, they pretty much make it impossible for somebody to steal your car unless they have stolen your key, or if they got a tow truck and they're just going to pick your car up and tow it away. Now, certainly there are chop shops out there that do that. They want a car to sell the parts off of it, so they just go around a tow truck and they steal cars, take them back to the junkyard or wherever they are, and then tear the cars apart. But that's about the only way you can steal an Immobilizer car, is by towing it away. Because not only do you need a key that's cut for the system to turn it, you also need the chip that interfaces with the computer to allow the engine to run. Further down the evolution line, some of the modern cars now have these keyless remotes that you don't have a key in the car. It just has this transponder. You just push the button to unlock the door, you go inside, the computer knows you have the right key, and you just push that starter button. But actually, these keyless systems, hey, they're not as secure as a keyed system, especially one with an Immobilizer, because you no longer need a key for the car. And these remotes are relatively generic. Yeah, they have different signals, but a professional mechanic or a professional car thief can get one of these fancy computers. One of these computers, granted they're pretty expensive. If a thief wants your car, they say they're looking for a 2005 Lexus. They can buy one of these blanks all over the place for a very little amount of money, and they can use one of these machines to program this key to work on your car, and they can drive away with it. I do that all the time for customers. I don't steal them, but if they lose their fob, we get another one and we reprogram it so that they have one that'll work their car. But a thief can do the same thing if they get into your car, if it has a keyless remote. And I've seen from security cameras of people, they leave their car and they use their remote while someone's sitting around their car. They can get into your car by beaming them back into the car. Then once they're inside the car, and they have a brand new remote, they can program it to drive away with your car. Goodbye car. So you're using your remote to open or lock your doors. Hey, if there's thieves in the area that are pros, they can get that information. When you beep it, their machine will record the frequency and they can get into your car. So here's a tip if you got automatic door locks in the keyless system. When you leave the car, don't use your remote. Push the automatic locking button, because that doesn't give any signals out. That's a direct electric current to the motors. Then if anybody's around, they won't be able to get your frequency and then come in and steal your car if they want. So in this case, the older Immobilizer key is actually better than one of these keyless systems, because they still have to have a key that fits the car, which isn't going to be easy to make. And then they'd still have to be able to have an Immobilizer chip. And there's various different Immobilizer chips out there, so odds are they're not going to have one that's right for your car. Because since these keyless ignition fobs are mass produced, you can buy these things anywhere. And a real thief, if they're looking for a particular model car, they can just have a few of these for different models, and when they find one, steal it. So what can you do to keep your car from being stolen, aside from not buying Honda Civic? Well, as I said before, with those keyless remotes, you want to be careful when you use them, and you never want to let other people get hands on your keys. Now, I can't stand valet parking for many different reasons. I even have a whole video on that, but you really don't want to give your key to a valet parker. Who knows? They might have a machine in there. They're making copies of stuff. You have no idea what's going on in there. I mean, if they force you to valet park somewhere, say, okay, you're parking a car, but when you're done, you're bringing the key to me at my table so I can have it on me, because I've had my car stolen before. I've even had customers that say, when they go to valet parking, they just say, I don't let people drive my car. I'll tip the valet parker. You show me where to park it and I'll park it and I'll give you a tip. But I don't want anybody driving my car. And don't do something dumb like get one of those magnetic little holders, stick a key in it and put it behind a fender. Thieves know people do that. They'll walk around feeling they get the key, away goes your car. And if you're really worried about your car being stolen, hey, you can have one of those systems like LoJack installed, because thieves are always looking for the easy way. You make it that much harder, they're gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, it's bad luck for somebody else, but it's good luck for you. So now you know what the most commonly stolen car in America is, and how you can prevent your own car from being stolen, and maybe why you shouldn't buy a car that has a keyless remote too. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.